Hello and welcome once again to the Retro Rallycross studio, where I am joined, as usual, by Steve Nottage. Hello, Steve.
Hello, Shirley. Good to see you, and good to be. This is our sixth show, and it's hard to believe that already. But if you like what we're doing, then please do like us, follow us, subscribe to us, and comment. We love to hear and see your comments, and it helps the channel if you can subscribe. So please, whilst you're thinking about it, don't dawdle. Hit the subscribe button. Got that out of the way. Shall we talk about Rallycross?
Yes, let's. Shall we talk about Pembrey?
That seems like a good idea. It's always fun. I find going to South Wales and Pembrey, where it's the only time in the season where at one location we're racing in one direction on the Saturday and then the other direction on the Sunday. There have been times, and it happened again this year, when one or two drivers, not necessarily retro drivers, could have done with a co-driver in there with them because they started going the wrong way. But once practice was was out of the way, there weren't any other problems. But it's always good there, and love seeing the racing at Pembrey. And of course, for us, it was great to see Paul Buckmaster. Now we've seen Rob in racing in his Fiesta XR2, but to have his brother Paul with a redeveloped Vauxhall Nova with a Rover K Series engine, and he was doing so much better. Now
Right, well,
it's
I'll
all
tell
very
you
well
what we'll do,
talking, but
Steve. Yeah, let's have some action from Pembrey. Well, as the video showed, it was very wet on the Sunday, Steve. But what about that Nigel Davey?
What about him, eh? Fantastic. Nigel's been running his ex John Sampson Triumph TR7 V8 with a 5 litre John Ells built Rover V8. He's been doing rather well and getting faster and getting more confident with the machine, and he's made some changes and it's handling better. But oh man, I was so chuffed for him on the Sunday, having had the disappointment both he and Stuart Emery were spun out early on the Saturday, and that spoilt their racing for the rest of the day. But Nigel more than made up for it on the Sunday, powering away from the grid from pole position, and well, he only looked back to check to see where the rest of the field were. It was very impressive, and we heard just a little bit of that V8 roar on the video. It's a delight to see and hear, and well, I think Nigel put it in his own words when I caught up with him in the paddock. I think we can see a little interview that I did with him there.
Well, the weather here at Pembrey has gone very, very wet, but keeping dry and very happy is the winner of our Super Retro final, Nigel Davey. Nigel, can you put it into words how you're feeling?
Actually, at this moment, I'm buzzing, but I think the weather conditions are perfect. I can't see any problem with these conditions whatsoever. It's a perfect track, never driven anything better than this. I think we should do this regularly.
In the wet?
In the wet.
And are you sponsored by the local duck community?
Duck Incorporated. But no, it's been unbelievable. Yesterday was a disaster. Today, someone else. I want to thank pit crew and all the rest of them. Brilliant. Couldn't do it without them. Yeah. But the car today has been nigh on faultless. But it suits this track, it suits these conditions. I couldn't have asked for anything else. But I had to keep calm.
And yet conventional wisdom would suggest that a big engine with a lot of power in wet conditions is not the ideal, but maybe it's the fact that it's a big 5-litre block, normally aspirated. You haven't got to worry about turbos doing their own thing.
No, exactly. And to be honest with you, I use second off the line, third into fourth, leave it in fourth gear and let the torque of that lump just take me around everywhere. And it worked. Because I was waiting for Pat, I was waiting for Charlie and John. I was waiting for them to make me look silly down the straight. But it just hooked up. And I couldn't ask for anything more. Perfect. This is my happy face.
And the soundtrack to accompany you and the car down the straight was just V8 gorgeousness.
It sounds better inside than it does outside. But you won't want to listen to the soundtrack on me in car because I was screaming like a girl when I passed the last. Couldn't believe it. But yeah, no, it's and after the winter hopefully we'll have an engine refresh and a few other bits and pieces, so we'll see. We're getting there. It's encouraging.
I should hope so too.
Yeah,
keep your energy up with your Lucasade. Other energy drinks are available, and I wish you a very safe journey back to back home to Cornwall.
Yeah, thank you very much. It's been excellent. Ideal. Loved it.
Oh, wow, great win in the Super Retro Championship, but in the Retro Rallycross Championship, we also have our Sunday winner from Pembrey and the current championship points leader in the Retro Rally category is Dan Swayland. Hello, Dan.
Hello, Shirley. Hello, Shirley, Steve, and guests. How are we doing?
We're doing really good. How are you doing, and how's your season been for you then so far?
Yeah, I'm doing really good, thank you. The season's been it's been a funny one. The first half before Mondello was probably very temperamental, but since then we've managed to develop the car a lot and got a couple more skills under, a little bit more seat time, and it's starting to pay off.
Oh, that's good. And if you carry on the way you started the season, you're on track to pick up the championship win in the Retro Rallycross category. And what would that mean to you?
Oh, well, it wasn't expected. I didn't really think I'd have a chance this year, but of course the consistency's paid off quite well. To be able to finish every round has been a bit of a blessing, especially with the car troubles. But yeah, now I think it would mean a lot. I think it would mean a lot to the family as well, and everyone who's putting a lot of time and effort into the car. Yeah, so it would mean a lot. It would be really good.
Well, we've just been looking at that clip that we made from the Pembrey weekend, and this interview can't go without me mentioning that magnificent overtake at Pembrey. Was it on the last lap or the next to last lap where you flew past Tony Lynch? I mean, it was such an amazing move.
Yeah, so I had a lot of a chat with I had a chat with Steve at the beginning of the weekend about this, and I said about that direction of the circuit I would be better at, and I was saving that tactic to the very end, and I didn't want to let it out too early in the day because I didn't want to get blocked or have it anticipated. But yeah, I managed to do it on the second lap, I think it was, and I might have done it a bit too early because after that it was terrifying trying to stay in front and keep in front of Lynch, and of course visibility was terrible. So I never really knew where he was behind me, so I just had to give it everything and try and hold on to it.
So are the dry conditions more suited to you and your car then?
Well, it was a bit of a difficult mixture because the tyres weren't very good. I do much prefer driving in the dry. Obviously that grip you can't beat it. It's lovely in the Escort, but in terms of tyres, I'd really run them down on Saturday. Was running on terrible tyres, and I did have a pair of wets, so I was really hoping it would rain. Of course, that did pull out to my advantage, and we made the most of it.
Well, you certainly got your wish because, boy, did it rain on the Sunday. You mentioned before about your family. I mean, you do seem to bring a great team with you to every event, and I'm sure they all play a huge role in supporting you and also getting you to where you are now.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, my family's always been around to help and support, and yeah, I don't want enough moral support. I've got that coming from everywhere, but it's not even just my family. Of course, it's all the other members of Retro are just unbelievable, and the support from them as well has just been absolutely amazing.
Oh, that's really encouraging to hear. I mean, we do have a great time, and there is an amazing amount of camaraderie in the paddock, isn't there, in Retro Rallycross? I mean, one of us has a problem, and you're all around the car and trying to get each other back out on track again, which is, considering you're competing against each other when you're out on track. I mean, maybe in some of the other championships in Rallycross, they may find that a little bit unusual, but hey, that's the way we do things, isn't it?
Yeah, of course. I mean, I've had so much support from obviously fellow competitors and everything, and I think I haven't gone a single meeting without other mechanics and opponents looking at my car and helping me with it. And there's always a problem. Every meeting, there's always something that arises, but it's always sorted out and never by myself. So I've got to say that community is just perfect.
Oh, that's great. Well, I think Steve's about to rejoin us as well. Are you there, Steve? Yeah, he's there.
I certainly am, and just watching the video from Pembrey reminds me of something that's entertained us right through the year. Is the amazing competition between Dan and Tony Lynch with his Mark 1 Toyota MR2. Such different vehicles, and with Tony's Toyota being mid-engine and rear-wheel drive, and obviously Dan with a front-engine rear-wheel drive car. They're so different, and yet you often find yourselves on the same bit of track at the same time. Dan, what's it been like racing with Tony this year?
I'll be honest. I mean, Tony was so fast, and watching him last year and everything he's done, I didn't think I'll be able to get up there with him. But with the development of the car, it's got us to that point. And I don't have the sort of skills to take him on all the time. And he's a brilliant driver. His defence is absolutely amazing, but it's definitely proposed a challenge, and the learning that's came with it is just amazing. I couldn't have asked really for any better of an opponent to go up against. It's helped a lot.
Well, Dan, thanks for that. Keep it going. We're looking forward to 2 more rounds of your battles with Lynchy this coming weekend at Lydden. But let's go back in time briefly back to Pembrey.
Now, the winner of our Retro Rallycross final this afternoon in the very wet rain at Pembrey was Dan Swayland, who I'm delighted to have caught up with. Dan, can you put into words how you're feeling having won your final today?
I think confused. I didn't expect it whatsoever. I thought maybe I could push for second again, but yeah, I didn't expect to be able to take that one at all. So yeah, delighted definitely.
And so you should be. That manoeuvre around the ever tightening corner there before the very sharp left-hander, to go around the outside there. I don't think Tony was really expecting you to pull that one off.
Yeah, I don't think he expected it. It was so slippy there, but I just think out of luck I just managed to get some grip, some good heat in the tyres, and yeah, I just went with it as soon as I saw the opportunity. I took it, and it worked out well. So I didn't end up off the track.
No, you certainly did not. That was always a concern, of course, in conditions like this, and not such a good start either.
Yeah, it was a really bad start. I can't get to grips with it. I've got a little bit more to try and suss that out. Over revving it is my biggest problem at the minute, but that time in particular I didn't rev it enough. The car bogged down, so then I went on it too hard, lit up the tyres, and of course Ian then got an advantage as well, and didn't expect to bring it back, but yeah, it worked.
If at first you don't succeed, try again.
Yeah, definitely. Well, yeah, definitely tried.
It led to a very exciting race from where we were. What was going through your mind as you're following Lynchy? You're gaining him on the straight and on that final corner every lap.
Yeah. Well, it was fun chasing him. Of course, I've done a lot of that this weekend, and to be in front, I think, was pretty terrifying. Still, even with the adrenaline, it was it was like a game of cat and mouse, I suppose. But yeah, I just had to try and hold on to it and just give it everything. But of course, we've had some real close racing this weekend, and it's been absolutely brilliant.
Seeing the two of you duking it out over today and yesterday has been very entertaining. You both got your cars back on your trailers. Well, soon you'll have your car on the trailer under its own steam, and everyone's happy. What a great way to spend a wet weekend in Pembrey.
Yeah, definitely. I've already spoken to him, and we're looking forward to Lydden, so hopefully we can go at it again, and then hopefully Terry Moore in the mix as well would be nice. But we'll see what happens and hope to bring a bit more.
Well, that definitely shows everybody just how wet it was at Pembrey, eh, Steve? You did very well there. We were all absolutely soaked at the end of the day, weren't we?
Oh dear me, yes, it was such a contrast with the Saturday as well, being dry, and clearly giving spectators and competitors something different, a different challenge in the wet conditions. Now, Dan, clearly both you and the car have developed a lot during the course of this year, and you've not been alone with doing that. Of course, last year's overall Super Retro champion Lee Wood has had a little helping hand with you. What was he up to with your car?
Yeah, so we've had a lot of hands on the car, of course, many of which are within the series, and Lee helped set up the car suspension wise. That was before Mondello to just help it handle better, and that was a definite bit of progression from what we saw at Mondello. It was definitely better, handled better around the corners, and so forth. And of course, it's gone further on from that still to now.
So that's Dan Swayland, the current leader in the Retro Rallycross Championship, but the current points leader in the Super Retro Championship is, of course, Charlie French with his magnificent Ford Escort. And I think you managed to catch up with him as well, Steve, when we were at Pembrey.
I'm in the paddock now with Charlie French, who's coming into this meeting at Pembrey, the leader in the Super Retro Championship. So there's no pressure on you at all this weekend, Charlie?
Well, everyone keeps saying, yeah, you're in the lead, must feel good, but it's not over till it's over, is it? And yeah, anything can happen, so we'll just keep our head down and try and keep out of trouble.
Well, after all, we've got this the rest of today, because we're talking after the heats have finished and before the finals, and of the Saturday we've got another round tomorrow, and then the double header at Lydden in November. So yeah, you're right, there is still a fair way to go.
Yeah, it's not over by a long way, not by a long way.
Meanwhile, nibbling away just behind you, you've got people like Pat Duran,
yeah,
and Alan Tapscott, who's having a terrific meeting so far.
Yeah, he was very close. That was all I could see in the mirror just then. So yeah, I was quite aware he was there. I try not to focus too much and look forwards, but I couldn't help but see him. So yeah, it was no room for mistake at the moment.
No, it's about keeping it smooth and trying to be the first into that first corner.
Yeah, you've got to have the first corner. It makes such a difference because it's so hard to overtake here. It's definitely shit or bust for the overtakes.
I do apologise, dear listener, for the. But you can feel the passion.
The emphasis on the danger coming up. It is a bit scary.
Yeah. So any changes to the car before you go out? Don't worry, we won't. This won't be going out until after the race.
Yeah, we'll go out before Lydden, won't it? Nothing too much on the car. A few tweaks and trying to manage tyres because we are running out of tyres big time now. We've used them all up.
Well, tomorrow we're expecting some damp conditions, so you probably won't be looking for the same tyres as you are today. But in the meantime, hope it all goes well for you. Nice clean race, and we'll see what happens in the final.
Thanks very much, Steve.
So that is our Super Retro leader at the moment. Steve, do you want to just give us a quick rundown of the points as they stand as we lead into Lydden Hill race circuit this coming weekend, actually, 2nd and 3rd of November?
Yeah, I think we can see the points table. I think the retro points table. Here we go. There we are. That's the retro championship. So that's the smaller engine cars up to 1659cc. Champion podium stands with Dan, who we've been speaking to, on 110 points, and Tony Lynch in second place with 97, Simon Hart with 90. So each of the two rounds, round 8 on Saturday and round 9 on Sunday, finish under floodlights. And with 20 points for the winner of each day's final, it's possible for any of our top 3 to come out with the championship. I'm sure Dan won't be terribly pleased to hear that, but he's steadily got to grips with his Mark 1 Escort, as we've heard, and it's been terrific to see him develop as a driver, and with fuel injection and his Julian Godfrey powered built engine, and with the chassis development that Lee Woods helped him with. And Tony Lynch has piloted his Mark 1 MR2 to the Retro Championship for the last 2 years, and unfortunately sat out the first 2 rounds at Lydden at Easter for medical reasons, and has won 4 of the 5 rounds since, with Dan taking that last round that we've just been hearing about. So they've been entertaining us, Dan and Tony, all through the year with titanic tussles, and we're looking forward to more of that over both days. So we'll see what happens. So that's a quick summary of where we are with the retro Championship. Shall we now look at the Super Retros, the over 70, well over 1660cc, which of course we know from what we've spoken about already includes the 5 litres of V8 TR7. So things are tighter still in our Super Retro category, where Charlie French, who we just seen interviewed, has been consistent and consistently quick in his Martin Skanker liveried Zack Speed Escort Mark II, leading into the last 2 rounds with 124 points. But the Super Retro category is full of cars capable of winning, including the similar Escort of Pat Duran on 110 points. So will Pat be able to use his home advantage on the tarmac and loose of Lydden? And we've heard of Alan Tapscott. He's in 3rd place on 77 points. He'll be trying his best, as always, to get out front and stay there. And his own Mark II Escort is quite a different beastie from Charlie and Pat's cars, being Vauxhall red top engined, as was Lee Wood's championship winning car last year. So although they look similar from the outside, they're very, very different. So we'll wait to see. And of course, thinking of the lineup and the entry for Lydden, we'll be inviting a new member to the Retro Rallycross family, Daryl Ambrose, in his rear-wheel drive Peugeot 205, which he got hold of earlier on this year, and has been running in the BTRDA Championship and getting to grips with it. It's quite a beast, but we'll see how he fares in the daylight and under floodlights at Lydden Hill soon.
Yes, under the floodlights, isn't it exciting? I love this last event of the season, don't you? I mean, it's absolutely amazing. We have so much, don't we? Should we have a little look at what the Lydden Hill final has got to offer to everyone this coming weekend? As you can see, the gates are opening at 7:30. 9 o'clock, the cars are out on circuit, and then there are lots for the family. Fast Lane Fun House and the Fun Fair opens at 11. Transformers, Steve, they're landing in the paddock at 2 o'clock. I have no idea what that's all about. Or a bubble show performance, that's at 3 o'clock. At 4 o'clock, the gates will open for the evening guests. So we're coming in for the floodlit. The floodlit racing actually begins at 4 o'clock, I beg your pardon. And the gates are open for the evening guests who are coming in to watch the fireworks. But at 4:30, we have the first fire breathing show. And then at 17:30, the second fire breathing show. I don't know who's going to be breathing fire. And then we've got the supercar final, the firework display, and the transformers who were landing at 2 o'clock will be taking off again. The fun fair is actually, the Fast Lane Fun House, I beg your pardon, is open until 7 o'clock. And then we have a similar thing on the Sunday with the gates opening at 7:30, but no fireworks then. Well, unless we get fireworks on the track, of course, Steve. I mean, that's always possible, isn't it? So,
yes,
guys, so folks, that is what we've got lined up for you. Please do, if you haven't already got your tickets for Lydden Hill, please make an effort to come down. The fireworks are absolutely magnificent.
Do like, follow, and subscribe to our channel here. It's a growing channel. We're enjoying what we're doing. You've probably worked that one out, and we're looking forward to doing more.
I'm already getting excited about those fireworks. Can we have a look at some fireworks, Mr. Director, please? Wow. I want to thank you, Dan Swayland and Steve, of course, for joining us. I want to thank Matt Bristow Photography and Richard Place, who both work behind the scene, and of course our wonderful director, Andy Glossop. And we'll see those of you who are going to be going to come and watch us race at the weekend, we'll see you at Lydden Hill. And for the rest of you, we'll see you at our next show when we'll be able to reveal our 2 sets of champions to you.